Okay, so for part 1B, you're gonna, like I said, capture both the raw image and the JPEG. So you're gonna need to make sure you're in manual mode when you're shooting. You can shoot anything you want, it's a free choice part. Just make sure it's something that has really strong colors. That will be a lot easier to see the edits that you're making. And obviously any picture that you take should have good composition. Okay, so for part 1B, you're going to be using either Photoshop if you have access to it, or you're going to be using a program called Polarr. So it's Polarr.co. Okay, not .com, it's .co. So when you go there, okay, be careful how you navigate through because there are paid versions and then there's also a free version. So if you go to the web and online version, it's free. Okay, open app in browser. Bless you. Okay. The first time you log in, you might be prompted to go through a tutorial, which is fine. You can definitely do it. But you can skip that. You're really just using this program to edit the pictures and look at how to adjust things like brightness, contrast, all of that stuff. So you're first going to need to open the picture that you want to use. So let me find, I'm kind of sick of that picture. All right, I'll work with this picture. It's a really stupid picture of myself. Okay.
I don't think it's stupid. I think it's cute.
All right. So on this side of your screen, you've got different icons. This is really what you want to avoid, okay? You can play around. This is like a fun program just to know about if you want to play with filters and stuff. So these have just preset filters that you can mess around with. But what I would rather see you guys do is work with the different editing tools that are on the right-hand side of your screen. So if you click and hover your mouse, it will kind of pop up and show you what the little icons mean. The first one is for adjustments, okay? When you open that, you're going to see that you have tons of different options. Each one of these words you can click on and get different kind of options that pop up. So with these controls, you can really adjust and edit your picture to a very high degree. So you can play around if you want the picture to look kind of cooler or warmer, right? You can change the tint so it's very kind of pink or very green. Some of these may make it look less realistic, so we don't want to go for something that looks wild and totally not believable. Ideally, you want to enhance the picture and make it just look better, but realistic, okay? If you want to make the colors really vibrant and intense or kind of neutralize them and make them more kind of grayscale, saturation will kind of pull all the color out or intensify the color to a really great degree, okay? So those are more global changes with color. Under light, these are really good ones if you wanted to make the highlights brighter, right? Or the shadows darker. So you can get a lot of fine control. You can adjust the overall contrast, right? So kind of neutralizing everything and making it more flat versus making the contrast really high. So on a lot of these things, you're not going to want to go to either extreme. You're probably going to want to just adjust small amounts, okay? So you can kind of see what happens when you play around with all of these things. Each one of these words is a different menu that will open up different sliders that you have available. The ones I would suggest you use the most are the light ones. You might even want to start with that first, adjusting the contrast and the brightness. This HSL, you can go in and pick specific colors that you really want to be your focal points. So using this little hue, it's hue, saturation, and luminance. That's what that HSL stands for. So if I really wanted to bring out, let's say, the blue, I could click on the blue color and I could change that blue to be more purple, right? Or to be more kind of green. I could make that blue be really, really intense, Okay, if I wanted my jacket to not stand out so much, I could kind of pull that emphasis away. Okay, so you can target specific colors, like look at the pink and the orange when I click on this one, right? So I can change that.
And face.
So yeah, in my face. So anything that has those different hues or saturations in there, you can kind of adjust the colors targeted. That's why I want you to have a picture that has some bright colors to it, so you'll have more options to play around with. You'll also, you can play around with the curves. So these you can kind of pull. So see, it's overexposed and underexposed because I'm playing around with the white balance. I can adjust the amounts of reds. It's actually kind of weird how it's moving the whole picture. But you can see these curve things kind of pull around. Again, subtle changes are probably going to result in a more natural looking appearance. Okay? Don't really need to do anything with the effects or distorting, but if you want to play around with them, you can. Okay? Vignette, you can make kind of the edges appear hazy. Again, some kind of like Instagram-y effects. But the ones that I would encourage you to play with the most are the light options, the HSL, adjusting the targeted colors, and then the overall color. Okay? Once you're happy with your image, then this little icon here saves it. So you can save it up to your drive. You can save it. I'm on a computer, so I could download the image. Keep it as a JPEG, so you'll be able to put it in your Google slide presentation. And then make sure you name the files or rename them so you have the original and you have the edited copy. So don't just leave the name because it will just replace the image. If you change the name, it will make a new copy of it. Okay? Because you need both the before and the after. All right? Make sense? Okay, so those are two really good things you guys can start with today.